Hello and welcome to this week's Facebook Live. I know a lot of you will be catching the replay today. I didn't announce this morning that I was going to go live because I wasn't sure if I would make it on. We had a busy morning. But here I am, and I have some cards to share with you today using the Painted Poppies bundle. That is our featured product this week. And so I'm going to share a few samples with you first, and then we are going to make a card. And I will show you some fun little features of this stamp set. So let me show you the bundle first of all, and then we'll get to the samples. This is a whole suite in the catalog. There are actually two bundles of stamps and dies that you can get in the suite along with the designer series paper, this crinkled seam binding ribbon, and then the Painted Poppy sequins. And then there are also some die cuts that you can get as well. The whole suite is really awesome. If you like this stuff, I highly recommend just ordering the whole suite because I don't think you'll be disappointed. So this is the one we're featuring this week. It's called Painted Poppies. And you'll notice that this stamp set has no sentiments in it. And so that is one of the reasons you're going to want the rest of the suite as well. The other bundle does have sentiments. And there's some confusion about the dies and which dies go with which stamp set. And I've had a couple of customers asking me to put this stamp set with the other dies, but I wanted to show you why they are bundled together the way they are. So this is the Painted Poppy stamp set, and then these are the Painted Labels dies, and I knew my printer was going to go on while I was doing this. So sorry, it's going to get a little shaky for a second. I tried to print something and it didn't work, and I knew it would start once I started the video, of course. Okay, so these dies are pictured on the same page in the catalog, and the reason they are bundled together with the stamp set is because you have some of the dies that cut out the stamps in the stamp set. So let me see if I can pop these off to show you. So they cut out the two poppy flowers, and then you have two of this leaf that cuts out. And there's just two because then you can stamp multiple at the same time and cut them out. And then you have some other pieces in this set, some labels. This actually cuts, I'll show you on one of the cards. This is a solid center that you can stamp on, same with this one. And then you've got this little edge piece. So these dies are really, really awesome. I'm going to leave this one out because we'll be using that one today. So if you get the Painted Poppy stamp set, you're going to want to make sure to get these dies along with it. And then the other bundle in this suite is the Peaceful Moments bundle, and this is where you'll find all of your sentiments. So they go really well together, and they're both great bundles. And these go along with the Poppy Moments dies. So you can see the poppy flowers, but these are actually much larger than the ones in the Painted Poppy stamp set. And when you layer these pieces together, you can create paper poppies. So these do not cut out stamped images, they're just creating the flowers themselves. And I'll be featuring this later on during the season of the spring catalog. And then you've got leaves. I did use some of the leaves in our card today, the centers of the poppies. But these are all just creating the paper cutouts. It's not cutting out stamps. So that's why they're bundled that way, and I just wanted to take a few minutes and explain that because I've had some questions about it. Okay, on to my samples I wanted to show you. Maybe I'll keep the stamp set here. So these first ones are from my card club this month, which you can no longer sign up for, but I wanted to show you anyways. I didn't get the samples done early enough to give a sneak peek, but I wanted to show the versatility of some of the stamps in this stamp set. So this one is, this stamp is stamped a couple times across, and I just use Stampin' Blends markers to color the flowers. And then I use this little splatter right here to make the grass. So that's kind of a fun use of that splatter. And then all of my sentiments come from that other stamp set, the Peaceful Moments. And I used other elements from the suite on this card as well. Here is one where I use that die cut, and you can see the center solid for stamping. I colored this poppy again with my Stampin' Blends, and then you see those cutout leaves there as well. This one uses this stamp, and I use Stampin' Blends to color it, but then I'll see if I can get it closer, just to add a little bit of texture on that flower. So that's kind of fun. And you can see the same kind of texture in the designer series paper with that splatter too. And then this one was copied from another demonstrator, Brenda Quintana. And I just really liked the card. So this one is kind of fun. You use the big poppy, and then this is the background. And then, hold on a second. Okay. Sorry, my video is going out, but I will keep recording and it will be clean after. So I'm sorry for that. Our internet is also not cooperating today. So watch the replay. All right, and then I used the larger splatter to add some texture to those poppies, as well as in the background here on the card base. Then this one, I kind of cased this one. I copied it, but gave a little bit of a different design. So I used a larger stitched nested label, but I did the same technique with the poppies. So that's kind of fun. And a little bit of a different color. I used the Poppy Parade still, but just black and white with it, which I thought was really striking and nice. And then these other ones, this one I snuck in here because we featured this bundle last week, the Valentine's bundle. And these next ones are swap cards that I received, so I wanted to share those with you. I only got one featuring this bundle, but I wanted to share it because I thought it was pretty. And then we have some featuring the poppies again. This one I really like. The poppies are colored in with different colors, which I think is really pretty. Then we've got, oh, I lied. There's another Valentine's sample. So this one's a little calendar, and it's in a clear envelope right now. But if you open it, it's like a little easel that you can put on your desk. And here is the card we will be making today. Let's see if we can get that to focus. So I'm going to show you this one, but I wanted to show you those other samples so that you could get a better idea of different ways the stamp set can be used. Technology is really against me today. I am so sorry. Okay, it's probably going to keep, well, maybe it's done now. Let's hope so. Okay, I also have a host code, a new host code this week. And if you are on a budget, I decided to make my ordering threshold a little bit lower this time. So you only need to place an order of $35, but you can also spend more. Of course, if you get up to $50, you can choose a celebration reward. And if you spend $35 at least using this host code, I will send you 5 free handmade cards from my stash. I will put a shopping link in the description when I'm done, and this time it's going to go for the whole week, so and through next Monday. And then hopefully on Tuesday I'll be able to go live again and have a new surprise for you. Okay, let's see if it will let me go live again. It's telling me that I can. So here we go. I have a thick Whisper White card base, and then this is some of the Painted Poppies Designer Series paper. It has really pretty patterns on both sides, so you are going to have to really decide which side you want to use, or, you know, buy a couple of packages and then you will have plenty to use up. So I cut this 5.5 by 4 1/4 so it would fit right on my card front with no edges. I'm going to keep knocking that and it'll not be straight. Bug me. Okay, and then I have a piece of Whisper White, and this is 4.5 by 3 1/4, and I'm just going to add that with some snail as well. Here we go. Okay, and then I used that little splatter stamp in the background, so I'm going to grab that and our rich raspberry ink. Now I'm going to teach you a little trick, and this is mostly a trick if you are a lazy crafter like me. So I stamped off the splatter, but I didn't have any grid paper or scrap paper lying around. So since I knew I was going to cover the middle of the card, I just stamped there and then stamped off where I wanted that. And I just did a couple on each end of where that label will be. So there you go. There's a little trick because nobody's going to see it, right? Okay, and then this label is cut from the dies that coordinate with the stamp set. And these labels are kind of neat because they have an embossed edge around them, which is really pretty. So I just used some more of that Painted Poppies paper, just a different pattern. It has stripes on the back. And this one I popped up with dimensionals. So add those on the back. Try not to make too big of a mess here on my husband's desk. That's where I do my live videos, and then I always have to make sure I clean up because he works at home the rest of the week and he'll notice if I have a bunch of stuff on his desk. Okay, next we are going to stamp our sentiment, the thinking of you, and this comes from the dies also. It's a little smaller though, so not really any of the sentiments from the other stamp set are going to fit in there. So I grabbed this host set, Little Ladybug, and pulled out the thinking of you. This one is a special celebration host set. So the only way you can get it is if you host a party that has $300 of sales, then you earn it for free, or you can place a $300 order yourself and earn it. But it's a really cute stamp set, plus it has a lot of sentiments that don't necessarily have to go with the ladybugs. You just got your basics, happy birthday, thank you, thinking of you. So I'm going to stamp the thinking of you in Rich Razzleberry on this little die cut. There we go. Close up my ink so I don't make a mess. Alright, and then the last, well, you know what, I'll add that on so it doesn't get lost. Then the last thing we're going to do is stamp our poppy and color it. So I just put a little snail on that and added it on the side. Okay, I'm going to get my Memento Black ink. If you are coloring with Stampin' Blends, you will want to use our Memento Black. And here's that smaller poppy. We'll stamp that in black, close this up, and then I have my dark and light Rich Razzleberry Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to start with the dark, and I don't have any real artistic background besides that I like art, so I usually copy what others do as far as shading goes. What they say is to follow the lines on here on the stamp, or to think about where the shadows would be. I don't know about you, but I don't really think about where shadows would be, so that part is a little tricky for me. So I just kind of did what I thought, followed the lines of the stamp, thought about where the petals would overlap, and colored in some darker there. And the best part about these markers is that you do not have to be an artist, but at the end you just watch and it will look very nice even if you have no clue what you're doing. But if you want to really make sure it looks nice, copy somebody else. That's what I usually do, because there are people out there that are very good at coloring and shading with the blends. And I think the more that you do it, the better you get. So I love these markers because they do not have any marker lines, which is awesome. And every time you color back over it, just adds another layer of color. So that's what I'm doing right now, adding a second layer of that light Rich Razzleberry. And it's kind of pushing the colors around too and blending it so you don't have the line of where the dark was and the light, and you can just keep going until it looks nice to you. So I might even add a little more in some of those spots. and we'll call that good. All right, so this one does have a die that cuts it out. So I am going to grab my Big Shot. See if I can fit it on here. And these dies will hug the image, so you really don't see any white when you line up your die. And you could either use your magnetic plate so that it stays in place, or you can use a little bit of washi, oops, or you can just put it down and pray that it comes out okay. I wouldn't suggest that method, although I do it sometimes. I told you before, I'm kind of a lazy crafter, so but sometimes that doesn't work so well, and then you have to do it twice, so that's really not saving you any time. I always see if I can save time when I'm crafting. Okay, so now we have that poppy, and then I have two little leaves cut out from Old Olive, and these were cut out with the other die set that goes with the Peaceful Moment stamp set, the Poppy Moments dies. And I'm going to use a couple of glue dots to just attach these on their stems. You have to be careful because they're pretty tiny and delicate. But I just used a glue dot to attach it to the back of that poppy. Same with this one. There we go. And then I will use a couple of dimensionals to add the poppy to my card. There you go. The last detail that we're going to add is that Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon. And if you wanted to give the card a little bit of a different look, you could always color the ribbon with your Stampin' Blends like we did last week. So that's kind of a fun thing to do. This is a longer length of ribbon than we used last week, and I like the look of white with the rich raspberry background, so I'm just going to leave it today. But I wrapped it around and we're just going to tie a bow. Now I meant to check before I started and I forgot how much the entire suite, Painted Poppy suite, costs. But if you buy everything together, I'm sure it is over $100. And I'm not sure how close it gets to that $125 mark or if it goes over. But if you like everything, my suggestion to you would be to include as much as you can in a starter kit. You can include up to $125 of product in the starter kit. And then you only pay $99, so that is the awesome part. Plus, you can choose an additional stamp set for free during celebration. So I should have checked the price, but if the whole suite doesn't, if it's a little over $125, you could always do one of the stamp sets separately as your free choice. And then you get that cute little mini paper trimmer that I showed you a few weeks ago, plus Designer Series paper sampler. So that would be my suggestion to you if you like the whole suite of products, because you're really going to save yourself some money if you do it that way. And then you can get all the things you need to make this card, plus some of those other ones that I showed you. So I'll put links to everything up in the description when I'm done. Sorry my video was so choppy today, and my printer thinks it needs to print 50 pages when I clicked print twice. So I'm sorry for the shakiness and the poor video today, but I'm glad I was able to come and share this card with you. I hope you have a great day. I hope you're able to take advantage of my special this week, and I will see you again next week. Happy stamping!